All right, well, video is actually your expertise.
Absolutely.
And it is booming right now online. I think it's more than half people. Let me just get the stat here so I don't mess it up. More than half of internet traffic is people watching video. Now, is SA behind the curve when it comes to broadband and having the infrastructure to allow people to do something that they obviously want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think as we referenced earlier, access to broadband isn't available to everybody of an exceptionally high quality. But I certainly think that it's improving dramatically. Again, if you've got the money, you can buy it, and you certainly you can get it. And I'm not talking only at a corporate enterprise point of view. I mean, you just have to look in our homes. I've just recently moved my DSL account, and what I was paying for 1 meg 2 years ago, I can get 10 meg now. You look at some of the big service providers are providing fiber to the home. I mean, that's a big step. That's real Korean first world sort of country kind of access. Those guys who gamers and that sort of thing will obviously appreciate that. So I think access to high-speed internet is increasing. We were chatting just now, we were saying the worst thing when anybody watching a video is that buffering sign and having to wait forever to go. So I think while access to good quality broadband is increasing dramatically, the technology providers have gone a long way to ensure that the videos run on a far more efficient methodology so that you're able to consume those videos with a lot less buffering, no matter what your network speed, no matter what your device type or the capacity of your device, or the contention on your DSL line because your neighbor suddenly jumps onto the same line as you go. So I think technology's come a long way, and more availability of bandwidth is certainly going to allow us a better user experience. And as humans, if something is quick and easy and simple, we'll consume more of it. So I think definitely South Africans are in for a good ride in the next couple of years.
Well, you mentioned having fiber in the home and DSL, and these things are all very expensive, especially in a third world economy. What do you think needs to happen for the price of these things to go down so that they're more accessible to the general public? Well,
I mean, anybody who's in this industry will tell you that the first thing needs to happen is government intervention around licensing of spectrum. The more of anything and the more players you can get into the market, and a free market, prices are going to tumble dramatically and come down quickly. I think a lot of that's been done already, but certainly I think government's got a long way to play. I don't think they're pushing as hard as what we would want, and I think as taxpayers we need to stand up and say, hey, look, the studies are numerous around access to broadband and internet, what incremental changes that can have in GDP and growth of an economy. So this isn't just about you and I being able to watch our favorite YouTube video. It's about real growth in the economy, again, which just plows back into more tax. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But yeah, I think there's a long way to go from a government point of view.
Well, on that note, National Broadband Policy promised 100% broadband coverage by 2020.
Yeah.
In your opinion, can that happen?
No.
No. Why?
No. I think, again, I mean, we referenced a number of free Wi-Fi projects like Project Asizwe that we used just now. I mean, a lot of people say free Wi-Fi, well, somebody's paying for it. You know, government is certainly paying for it all over South Africa. Great projects in Tshwane, projects here in the Western Cape. So I think local government and certainly provincial government are providing money and access to that funding. But it's a huge task. You know, I mean, to get last mile connectivity into the rural South Africa where the vast majority of our population live, just from a technology challenge, I think is pretty ambitious. That being said, I think government's gone a long way in getting there, and it's been a really good start. New cabinet ministers now around communications and the split up around a couple of different portfolios. Hopefully that will allow a few more people to concentrate on telecommunications, a big field, to concentrate on trying to achieve these ambitious plans. Certainly our country needs it and our economy needs it, and it would be most welcomed.
Now, I actually want to know why we can't get 4G. Why is that?
It's very simply that, again, it's a spectrum issue. So we haven't, ICASA has not licensed enough spectrum for us to get that type of technology and available. I still think that our major voice GSM service providers, the majority of their revenue still comes from the cell phone minutes that we use. We're still one of the most expensive countries in the world for our cell phones. I think, again, we spoke just now about more players into a game, how costs tumble. We've seen what the third player in South Africa has done more recently, aggressively bringing our costs down. But access to spectrum is a big issue. So what's happening is that we're actually farming existing spectrum that's out there, and if you have a finite amount of something and you need to put more and more into it, you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And that's pretty much why we don't have 4G.